Good evening.
Hi.
When we're ready, we'll get underway with Rob Dorset from Sky Sports News.
Gareth, good to see you. Can I ask you first about Declan Rice, the news that was broken in the last hour? An Irish newspaper has uncovered some old social media posts where he seems to voice his support for a song that supports the IRA. He's apologised, said it was naive and doesn't represent his political views. That's important to say, but as his new manager, what do you make of it?
Well, I think exactly as you said, he's apologised. It's not representative of what he believes and feels and his views. And outside of that, it's the obvious point is that this was when he was 15 or 16, engaged in a social conversation with friends where I think any of us at that age in those sorts of situations have probably discussed things, said things, written things that might not look in the way we'd want them several years later. So, I don't think he can do or say any more than he's said at this point in time.
The FA has done so much work with a minority of England supporters that chant songs in support of anti-IRA songs, shall we say. You've spoken out on that yourself as well. Does this undermine that sort of work?
Well, we have to make sure that it doesn't. Our messaging doesn't change, and I think Declan's statement is consistent with that. We still would be against any of our supporters taking up that sort of stance, and I don't think anything changes from an FA or England point of view.
Do you fear it might make it more difficult for him to be accepted, though, by some England supporters?
Well, I think people understand. Most people will have children of those sorts of ages, and people are still maturing at that age, and you're in conversations with friends that you can get giddy and you can say things that maybe you don't even know enough about or you don't understand the context. So I think our fans and our public will recognise that fact, I'm sure.
Can I ask you about Marcus Rashford? He didn't take part in training this morning because of this ankle injury. How is he?
Well, he's been with our medical team all week. We've tried to progress his training through the week. So he did some running with them. But it's clear to us he's not going to be ready for our matches. So we're going to send him back to the club. He's out of the 2 games.
That's a big loss for you, the form that he's been in. But with him absent then, how much more do Jadon Sancho and Callum Hudson-Odoi come into your thinking, possibly for a starting place?
Yeah, well, we knew from a couple of days ago Marcus wouldn't be ready for tomorrow. So, he has great opportunity for the others because they've been exceptional in training. They look like they've been with us forever. So we're really excited. I think we've lost a lot of players, but it's opportunity for others. And when I've looked at the level of training and the way that the team have prepared, they've been excellent. So we're really looking forward to seeing the team play.
Is Sancho ahead of Hudson-Odoi in your eyes?
Difficult to say, really, because I think throughout the age groups they've been very similar in their development. Jadon has obviously had more big match experience at this point, and he has been with us as a senior team for a bit longer, but Callum has fitted in brilliantly, and I won't hesitate to start either of them in the game. They're ready. They can play, no problem for us.
Last one to you, Gareth. These are qualifiers, they're not friendlies, but they're also the last games you get to play before the Nations League semi-finals. With that in mind, can you experiment very much in these games or not?
I don't think it's so much a case of experimenting. I mean, we're going to have to make changes from our last matches, but we've had to do that. Every time you get together, the team is in a different place, different people are available. When I've looked back over the 2 years at who scored important goals or made important contributions at different times, the squad's had to evolve. Part of that has been looking at bringing younger players in, but part of that has been because we've always had 4, 5, 6 players missing, and you just have to adapt and adjust. So yes, there will be people who haven't played as often for us, but all of them are ready to play for England.
quick word for Jordan. Because Gareth has brought you along, we kind of assume you're starting. So I'm looking for Gareth's reaction. He's not reacting.
Yeah. I wouldn't make him sit here. He wasn't.
But after a bit of a difficult time for you, Jordan, what does that show of faith from the manager mean to you?
Yeah, it's great for me, and I feel like apart from the Newcastle game, I've been in a good run of form, and the Newcastle game made a mistake and bounced back with a good performance against Chelsea, so that shows me my mentality and my character and myself, and I think that's good for me, and the manager's put faith in me to start tomorrow, and I've been training well all week as well, so it's been good.
I don't know whether you and the rest of the squad have seen the comments from Matej Vydra, where he said that Harry Maguire is a weak link in the England team, and they've got a plan where he's quoted as saying, "Don't be afraid to kick them 3 or 4 times to try and disrupt you." What do you make of that?
No, I think as a squad we know how good we are and how capable we are to win games, and I think that they can speak words as well, but we need to focus on ourselves and get them 3 points come tomorrow, and it's all about us and not about their comments.
Kerry Brown.
Gareth, is this probably the biggest test of character for this team since the World Cup, because it's such an important competition to ensure you qualify for, against teams that many of these players wouldn't have come up against in quite unusual circumstances? We know how to...
I think whenever you pull an England shirt on, there's expectation and there's a big challenge, and whether it's been the games we had in the autumn, the games in the World Cup, and now the qualifiers, we expect the team to perform at a high level and continue to improve. So it doesn't matter what the opposition is. You know, we're looking at our own standards, our own level of performance, and that's what we've talked about with the players this week, and that's the way they've approached their training. I've been really impressed that they've managed to focus so quickly into how we work and really seamlessly into the way we want to play.
You said you have...
He's another super talent, and there are so many coming through our youth system. So we've got to give huge credit to our club academies because they're developing really exciting players. We've talked for a long time, many years, about England not having enough creative players. We've got loads. So what is important to note is that there's real competition for places, and if players miss games or miss the opportunity to play, then there's no guarantee they'll get back in, and that's going to be a challenge for the squad and the group as we move forward, because each time we bring a player in, they impress us. We've got another player that we can pick from, and that's been a real bonus of seeing Declan and Callum this week, who are both are ready to play.
And Callum, Declan, apologies. Where do you play him?
Well, he could play as a holding midfield player, as he has all season, or he could play as a centre-back. I think at 19, it doesn't matter. We don't have to pigeonhole him in one position. Good for players that they play different positions, they learn the game, they have a better understanding of the game if they do that. And I've seen him play at centre-back for West Ham and this season very maturely as a holding midfield player. So he can do both of those jobs.
Your mind hasn't been swayed any other way seeing him in training this week?
No, I mean he's played in both positions in different parts of training, I think. So we're always moving the players around because they need to know the roles. All players within the squad need to know our principles of play and our patterns of play. So we're constantly shifting them around, and sometimes you learn some new things, and it's been important for him to integrate with the rest of the players, but also to get an understanding of how we work. And I think when you come in for the first time, the training is so intense, and of course everybody wants to prove themselves. So getting into the rhythm of our training is also important.
Jordan, a question for you. You've been working with Callum. How impressed have you been with his ability?
Yeah, he's been top draw in training. He's come straight into the training side, and he's been very good for us. And just like Jayden did when he first came into the setup, and it's great to see there's a great pathway for the young English lads to come in and have the opportunity.
You're quite happy you're not coming up against Callum in the Premier League?
Yeah, I've faced him on Sunday just gone and kept a clean sheet, so it was decent.
How important is it for you to have such faith shown in you for the manager, but to be back with this England side that you enjoyed such a great campaign with at the World Cup?
Yeah, it's obviously been 4 months since we've been with England now, and it's great to come back here and work well with the manager and the staff for the next week or so, and it's great to be with us, and we always want to improve as a unit, as a squad, and we do that every day on the training pitch, and when it comes game day we're ready to get the win.
Okay, to Ian Dennis.
Gareth, hi. Are you going to call anybody else up now that Marcus is no longer with you for the 2 games?
We'll have a look at where we are after the game tomorrow. I mean, at the moment, that wouldn't be our intention. But if we lose anybody after the game tomorrow, then we'll consider that. If we're going to do it, we'll probably do it from the under-21 group. That would be bad news for Adi. It would be head in his hands when he hears that. But yeah, because we know they've been in training all week. They've not been in Dubai or Ibiza or anywhere else. So we'll go from that group.
And what's impressed you the most about Hudson-Odoi this week?
Just the fact that he doesn't look fazed by it at all. I think that's young people today. Actually, they have great belief. They have confidence in their ability. They're not fazed by being surrounded by older, more experienced players. And I think it's also credit to the rest of the group because they make the players feel settled and calm and part of it. But of course, he's training every day with top players anyway. And he knows Jayden from junior teams. He knows a couple of the other lads as well. So the beauty of St George's Park is that players don't feel that it's a huge shift to come and work with the senior team. We've seen them around, they know us, and it makes it a much smoother transition, really.
And finally, the expectation levels are no doubt going to increase this year after what you achieved last year. With the questions you've already faced, the scrutiny is as high as ever. There's a lot of young faces in the squad. What's been your main message to the group this week?
Really that we have to keep improving. We've hit a consistent level. We were the only team to back up semi-final last summer with a semi-final in the Nations League, and there were some big teams that did that, and we were in a group that was as tough or tougher than any, really. And that's got to be our motivation right through. We're still a young group. There's still loads of opportunity to improve, and we've got to be hungry for that. So everything I've seen from all of them this week has shown me that they're ready to do that, ready to embrace that challenge, and they're looking forward to getting on the field tomorrow.
Okay, do we have any further questions? Thank you very much.
Thank you.